What up, YouTube? Today
today's video,
we're
I am
watching a new Guga video. I cooked 100 years of burgers.
cooking
My
100
son
years of
suggested
burgers,
this one,
and we're going to be rating
so
them
let's
from
check it
1
out.
to 10 so you know which ones we like best. And we're starting off with this one.
That looks
Love this
sad.
channel, by the way.
that
If
a
y'all ain't
burger?
checked out
Welcome
Guga,
to the
go check him out.
1910s.
He's
In this
goated.
decade, the story goes like
He's
this.
funny too.
At this time,
Nice
they
guy.
served hamburger steaks with a fork and a knife. Then one person showed up in a hurry. So they
Fork
said, let
and
me
a
put on
knife?
some toast for you. And that is
Hamburger
how
steak?
one of the very first burgers were created, in Louis' Lunch, where they
Someone
still
thought to
serve
just
the
add some
original
bread, and
burger
here we
today.
are.
Now the interesting thing is how it was cooked. It was cooked in a vertical broiler that looked something like this. At this time, burgers cost 10 cents. Now obviously I
Wow.
don't have one of these, so I try to improvise as much as possible. These are cooling racks. I'm hoping they're gonna work just fine. Now for the patty, I chose 80-20. And as you can see, a nice thick
80-20.
one. So after
Dude,
laying
I
down
love
my
how he
burger on the
says it.
cooling rack,
Look,
I chose 80-20. And as you can see, a nice
80-20.
thick one. So after laying down
It's a
my
nice
burger on the
thick
cooling
one.
rack, I
Oh.
chose 80-20. And as you can see, a nice thick one. So after
Oh,
laying down
yeah.
my burger on the cooling rack, I seasoned the patty
Let's
with a
go.
good amount of salt and pepper. Then I immediately put one right
Good
on
amount
top.
of salt
As
and
now I
pepper.
got my Searsol and started to broil the beef. Surprisingly, it worked extremely well. And I can only imagine the smell that came out of this in the restaurant. Now they were not crazy because they also toasted their buns. And as far as I know, the very
Some
first burger had
yellow-looking
nothing,
bread.
just bread and beef. It doesn't get any simpler than that. However, with our research nowadays, they make it like this. And that had a little bit of cheese spread, followed by the broiled beef, a thin slice of onions, and one of tomato. Close that all up, and this is one
I've
of
never
the
tried a
first burgers
tomato.
created.
I've never
But
took a
don't
bite of
forget
a
the
tomato.
original, with nothing.
Is it
Now,
good?
how did it taste? Well, let's try them and rate
Like
it.
an
Looks
onion
very
eater.
different than the
I've
burger
tried
we
the
know
chopped
today.
There's no
onions now.
cheese, but at least there's no vegetables.
I've tried
either.
those on some stuff, like some
It is
tacos or
basically meat
In-N-Out
and
burger,
sandwich
but I've never
bread.
tried like
Let's see how it
a
tastes.
onion or
Cheers,
tomato
everybody.
on a burger.
Cheers.
Cheers, everybody.
I don't care what anybody says. That's delicious.
Look, it's really good, but it feels wrong that it's in toast.
Yes.
I'm okay with
Delicious.
it being in toast, but I just feel like it needs some cheese. It needs some sauce.
Funny you said that because nowadays they actually make it like this, sir, and it has cheese for you.
Oh man.
But that's not how he started. That's where we are right now. And this burger, everybody, still being served today. Cheers, everybody.
Oh my god, it's such a mess.
Cheers, everybody.
Oh, that's so much better with the
Oh, real quick. Hang on, everybody. Oh, quick delay real fast. Hold up. I do gotta make sure we got this in on the right stuff. Okay, applicate. Okay, yeah, we're good with you.
cheese
All right,
and the
my bad.
tomato and the onions.
Talking about that, there was a huge upgrade from this decade to the next. Check it out.
In the
Check it
1920s,
out.
White Castle was born. The price started at only 5 cents. That's about 70 cents today.
White
They are known to have
Castle.
invented the slider and the concept of carrying out. Now, the way they made their sliders are quite unique. First thing to do is to grab some beef. Then, to make them at home, you want to
Grab
lay down
some
some
beef.
parchment paper and immediately spread a good amount of beef. We want to get them super flat. So for that, I put another parchment paper right on top and pressed it with another sheet. Now I laid it down on a cutting board, and using the back of my
Maybe smash
knife, I
burger
went ahead
something.
and scored the beef. This will allow me to break them once they get frozen. Now I remove the parchment paper, and if you're following the original recipes, you must poke 5 holes. You can do it just by using a chopstick. Once they were all done, into the freezer it goes to firm up. After
Got some
about 1
dice.
hour, I took it out and look, we got our beef ready to be cooked. But there's one more thing that we gotta do, and that is to use the onions. They don't use fresh onions on White Castle. They actually use this, dehydrated one. So we gotta bring them back to life. To do that, you just gotta soak them in water. And funny enough, they still use this method today. In case you are wondering
Really?
what kind of buns I'm using, these are Hawaiian sliders. They're gonna work perfectly for this recipe. So to cook them outside I went. I heated up
Hawaiian
the cast iron
sliders.
griddle and placed all of the onions in there together with the water. Because instead of getting a nice crust on our meat, we're gonna steam it. Yep, right on top of the onions. And funny enough, the bread goes right
I
on
bet
top
that
of the
smells
beef.
so good.
the
That's
way
what
they
made me
still
try
do
some
it
onions
today.
one time
You
on
see, the
taco.
idea
The
is
first
that the
time at
steam will
Shona, like
also
my cousin
heat up
Dylan
the
told me
buns.
about.
I'm not gonna lie though,
I
it
smell
feels
those
weird putting
onions
the
and I'm
bread
just
on
like,
top
oh.
of the beef. Because
I
once
don't know, I
it's
might have
fully
tried 'em at
cooked, the
In-N-Out
next thing is
first,
to
actually.
assemble.
In-N-Out or
First, on one side of the bun,
Shona.
they add a little bit of mustard. Next,
I've
they
still
scoop
never
the
tried
onion in the
mustard on a
beef.
burger.
As now there's
I
left
tried
to do
mustard
is
on
to
a
add
corn
some
dog. I
cheese,
liked it.
followed by pickles, and
I
top it
haven't-
off with that mustard.
I've never
bun.
tried a pickle
Now,
on a
this
burger.
is the White Castle slider. In the 1920s,
Never
this
done
was
it, man.
extremely popular, and costing only 5 cents, it was a hit.
The
got
1920s
the worst
burger,
crick in my
White
neck, y'all.
Castle slider.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I saw it being cooked, and I'm not very excited. Let's say that.
You don't like the steaming action on the raw meat, bro?
There's no crust. This thing is gray and sad, bro.
This looks like a boiled burger.
White Castle sounds like
Boiled
we're in the
burger.
dungeon eating the burger.
There you go. 1 nickel, everybody. Doesn't get any better than that. Let's give it a try. Tell me, Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers, everybody. He's so
It's
funny.
so soft. It's not a good soft.
It's super tender. That's why the pickle is there, to give you a little crunch.
We definitely have way better burgers nowadays, but at the
Boy.
start, 1920s, this is pretty good.
Tell you one thing, it's pretty good. It's time to go on to the next decade.
In the 1930s, times were tough. It was the Great Depression. But there's one burger that really stands out from that decade. That would be the Oklahoma Fried Burger. Invented by Ross Davids to keep burgers' prices low, he decided to press a handful of onions into his patties to extend the beef supply. Now, to make this burger, there's a very interesting technique, and here's how. First, we go ahead and get the griddle nice and hot. Now, place the beef right on top, smash it down a little bit, and as it's cooking, add a
Big
good amount
smash
of
burger
onions.
time.
Then, of course, smash it
It's a
down
lot of
even
onions,
more.
man.
Now, this burger doesn't get any easier than that to make, as after flipping it
It's a
so
lot
that
of
the onions
onions.
can cook, you want to go ahead and toast the buns. Now, in its
See, I don't know
most
if I could
basic
do those kind of
form,
onions
this is
yet. I could do the
it.
chop,
With
chop,
bread,
chop ones,
beef,
you know,
and onions.
like in and out.
It is simple. It will feed hungry people,
See, that
and at the
bread
same
looks
time,
good.
is it delicious? Well, let's find out.
The Great Depression
find
burgers
out.
from the 1930s, also known as the Oklahoma Fried Onion Burgers. Are you guys ready to try this?
Smells great.
Let's try it, everybody. Cheers.
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 Oh, that's a lot of onion.
That's too much onion.
That's
Yeah.
definitely too much onion.
Just the onion, the patty on the bun is just way too simple for me. What do you think, Leo?
The onions
Yeah,
have such an
that's-
overpowering
yeah, I couldn't do that
sweetness
either.
that that's what you get mainly, not a lot of beef.
Yeah, but Leo, come on, bro.
It makes sense at the time, I mean.
They didn't have the money, bro. Chill out.
Times are tough, I get it.
When times are tough, you gotta feed a lot of people. Still, this is a delicious burger. Enough. Next decade.
In the
Next
1940s,
decade.
things were about to change forever. That's when
Dude, look
McDonald's
how people
was
dressed up
invented.
back then. Everybody
Originally a
dressed up for
barbecue
everything.
restaurant, in the late 40s, they switched to selling only burgers, fries, drinks, milkshakes, and pies. Also, McDonald's cheeseburger only cost 19 cents. And the way it was made, it was slightly different than today. You see, at the time, they used
Hey,
a nice, thicker
McDonald's
patty,
is still
kind of
aight.
like this one. And it was seasoned with salt and pepper. The crust was not strongly pronounced, but they made sure to toast the buns. And the original cheeseburger had ketchup on the top bun, followed by some onions, and a slice of cheese, followed by the meat. Yep, it was assembled upside down. And there we have it, the original cheeseburger from the 1940s. They don't look like this nowadays, because it had more meat than today. My hopes is that it's gonna be better.
1940s, the birth of McDonald's, gentlemen.
After school,
With the
me and Leo used to go
McDonald's.
straight to McDonald's and grab some cheeseburgers because they used to be 67 cents.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Are you guys ready to try this burger?
Dude, it's,
Let's see.
it's like
Please dig in,
$3 for
gentlemen.
the small
Cheers,
double
everybody.
cheeseburger
Cheers.
now. They do have a nice
That's a
discount
classic.
though.
That's
If
a
you use the
cheeseburger right
McDonald's
there,
app,
everybody. Wow.
you get like
That's way better
40%
than
off a double
McDonald's.
Especially
cheeseburger, so
from
you
the
get it for like
last burger that we had that
$1.70.
was more onion than burger. This is nice, bold, beefy, delicious. Cheese, toppings, everything just blends together beautifully.
Jeez.
Things were getting a little bit better at during this time, so they were able to put the cheese in and not charge an arm and a leg for it. But the onion burger, don't knock that one, everybody. It's delicious. With that being said, let's jump on to the 1950s.
In the 50s,
1950s.
burgers started changing. It was when the Whopper was invented, the Jack in the Box, Whataburger, Sonic, and the
Damn,
Juicy
everything
Lucy.
came up in there,
Yep,
huh?
things started getting really good on that decade. Also, the category we know and love was created, but it didn't look like this. This is actually what it looked like. Now, there's a very interesting burger that was invented in the 50s, and that would be this one. It's called the steam burger. First up, we gotta get a big patty, and just like the name says,
that a
we
half
gotta
pound?
steam this meat. I placed my patty into the steamer, followed by some white cheddar. Covered it up and let the whole thing steam. Now, instead of using a regular burger bun, they use Kaiser roll. This is quite different than normal buns, and the taste is very light, but also very delicious. And the best part was that it was toasted with butter. The 50s knew what they were doing. So to assemble, it's pretty simple. I lay down a slice of raw
it's a
onion,
big
followed by
onion.
some mayo, ketchup, and
I've
mustard.
never tried
Then the
mayo on
tomato
my
goes
burger
right on
yet either,
top.
y'all.
We can't forget about the lettuce and pickles.
I
As now
tried
it was
lettuce
time
one
for the
time, it was
beef.
aight.
And we cannot forget one thing, the cheese. To be
Oh, that
specific,
cheese
the
looks like it's
steamed white
smacking.
cheddar. Now that is a
Steamed
burger.
white cheddar.
The big
That
question
does
is,
look like a
how
burger.
does it taste?
I wish
And
that I
here we
could
have
just.
the 1950s
but,
burger.
I just can't get myself to do it, man.
Yeah, it does.
That does
I
look
saw
good,
you making
though.
this and you steamed
Like when I
it,
see
so I'm
sandwiches and
not
stuff
excited.
with all the
Wow,
stuff
this guy's
on them,
such a
they look
hater.
and smell so
Steaming
good.
is
I
okay,
tried Supreme
everybody, for a
Pizza
burger,
though,
I guess,
everybody.
right? Let me know in the comments
I
down
tried
below.
Supreme
Enough
Pizza
talking,
for
let's
the
give it a
first time
try.
a couple
Cheers,
months ago, and
everybody.
I actually loved it. I couldn't believe the flavor just explodes in your
It's
mouth.
a mess.
Yeah, it's a mess because it's big.
It's very messy. It's a mess, but it is a very juicy burger, I have to say.
Very juicy, extremely
juicy.
flavorful, even though I'm still missing the crust. But I cannot say anything bad about him.
You know what? It's actually not bad. It's like you say, the only thing you're really missing is a good crust.
But with
Think
that being
like
said,
this,
let's jump on to
smacking.
the 1960s.
In the 1960s, Chick-fil-A was founded, and so was Red Robin's. At this point in time, hamburgers went from being an American classic to slowly spreading throughout the world. However, there's one iconic burger that stands out from the rest, and we're talking about the Big Mac. And funny enough, it was created because of a competition. McDonald's wanted to compete with the Big Boy hamburger, but instead they created one of the most popular burgers in history. And this is what makes it so famous, the Big Mac sauce. To make it, there are several different versions. The one I like the most is this one. Into a bowl I throw in some mayo, followed by ketchup, mustard, sweet onions, onion powder, grated garlic, butter pickles, white vinegar, salt, and pepper. Mix everything well, and the Big Mac sauce is done. This was also one of the very first burgers to use 3 buns. And at first, Big Mac patties were nice and thick. So we're gonna try to do the original version. I seasoned them with salt and pepper. Got a nice crust and they were ready. After toasting up the buns, it was time for the assembly. We got the bottom
for the
bun,
assembly.
followed by a good amount of Big Mac sauce, white onions, shredded lettuce, 2 pickles, that beautiful burger patty we just cooked, American cheese, middle bun, and repeat the process once again. To finish it off, just top it off with the top bun. Now this is the original Big Mac. I wish that it still looked like this in McDonald's. Does it taste as good as it looks?
Looks
well, let's
huge.
find out.
Here we
You
are
grab her
on the
shirt from the drawer,
1960s, the
bottom
Big
drawer,
Mac,
hold the door,
gentlemen,
her
huh?
shirts.
I've eaten a little bit.
Whoops.
You can basically crash an
Huh?
entire server of your choice
I'm still
that
watching it
admins
right now.
spent
Just
hours
grab her
on
shirt
just to get
too.
that permission to kick somebody. So go to
Too many of these in my life.
Yeah, I guess so. Just whatever 2 shirts look like they would fit her.
I had quite a few as well, everybody. Big Mac is a classic.
I guess the next one up top.
These burgers don't look authentic. They're too good.
McDonald's wish their patties were this big, right?
I've never seen a McDonald's patty this thick. I'm not gonna lie, Guga, I thought you went to McDonald's and you actually just bought a Big Mac.
No,
But now after seeing this, yo, this is no joke.
Let's give it a try, everybody. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, everybody.
Oh man, that tastes like a Big Mac.
That tastes like a Big Mac.
That sauce is so good.
I never had
Sauce is
Big
right
Mac.
on the money, right?
Fresh Big Mac sauce is crazy.
And it's so juicy. Like you can squeeze it, you see the juices.
Is it fair to say that is like the golden era of burgers right here?
Pretty much because it's still good today.
True.
That is delicious. And now
8
we're gonna
out
go
of
and
10?
jump into the 1970s.
Wow.
Ooh, groovy.
In the 1970s, the burger cost about 69 cents, and the newly invented grill at that time was the Big Green Egg. Another historical burger chain was created, Wendy's, and they shocked the
Wendy's.
world with unique square patties. They really wanted to stand out from the rest. That's one of the reasons they kept saying fresh, never
Maybe just
frozen. This is a good thing because fresh meat is always better. Now to cook up the original Wendy's burgers is pretty simple. We got a nice hot griddle and throw in the patty. Of course, don't forget to toast the buns. For the assembly, they
Wendy's does
started
go
with the
hard. I
top
just had a
bun.
Baconator
First,
for the
a good
first
amount of
time.
ketchup, followed by mayo.
About a month
Then on the
ago.
bottom bun goes
That
one slice
Baconator
of American
was-
cheese, followed by that hot
thing was
square
something,
patty,
man.
followed by lettuce, a
thing
slice
was
of
really
tomato,
good.
onions, and pickles. Then
See,
top
I
it
love
off
how
with the
that
top
looks.
bun.
I wish I
Now
could just
this
bite
is
into it. I
Wendy's
just don't think I
original
can,
burger.
man.
Does fresh, never frozen really makes a big deal? Well, let's find out.
I need
And
my
here
patty
we
a little bit
have
more
the
done than that,
fresh,
though.
never frozen.
What's that?
Groovy era. Come on, guys. The 70s. Come on, hey, you gotta hit that.
This guy, man. So this is the Wendy's original
Ooh, yeah.
burger. I hope I did its justice. Leo, go ahead and grab it.
Damn, there's no crust on this.
No crust because that's the original and the right way to do it. So hopefully it's gonna taste fantastic. Enough talking, let's give it a try. Cheers, everybody.
talking?
Cheers.
There's something to be said about fresh, never frozen.
This might be one of my favorite burgers on this list so far. This is damn good.
It's so funny. It got like the little square patty too.
It is a Wendy's
Nice.
burger. You know what it tastes like. It is
Only a
delicious.
6 out of
It's
10.
still square today, but let's jump into the 1980s. My era, when I was born.
Damn.
Now we're in the 80s, and burger prices were on the rise. At this time, another huge burger joint
Everybody
was
started
opened,
ordering
created
so
by a
much,
father
man.
and his 4 sons. These 5
Oh,
guys
Five
wanted to
Guys
choose
do be
quality and
smacking.
flavor over profits. And I'm talking about 5 Guys.
Five
They're gonna
Guys
be
is so
making
good.
their
We used to have
all-the-way
one, but it
burger.
shut
I mean,
down.
take a
We
look at this
wasn't-
burger.
my
It
area
is
wasn't ready for that. It was
incredible.
too
They do
expensive.
something most
They
burger
would be
joints
ready
don't
for it
do.
now,
Let me
but-
explain. That one has sauteed onions and mushrooms. Just cook them up like you normally would and no big deal. But I want you to notice one thing. There's no seasoning on them at all. And the same goes for the burger patties. The interesting thing is that if you want seasoning on your burger, you gotta ask for it in Five Guys. And I totally understand where they're coming from. Because the American cheese they put on it, it already has plenty of salt. So once the burger is perfectly cooked, they go ahead and add 2 slices of American cheese and put an additional patty right on top. Toast up the buns. Once that's done, the bottom bun gets a little bit of ketchup, followed by mustard, those beautiful sauté onions, mushrooms, crispy bacon, a good amount of mayo on the top bun, followed by shredded lettuce, pickles, and a slice of tomato. As to finish it up, we go ahead and add those
Somebody said
beautiful burger patties with the cheese and top it off with the bun. Now this is the
Jeez.
Five Guys all the way burger. Now how
When I
does it
again went to
taste?
Five Guys,
Here
I
we
watched
got
the
the
meat cheese only.
1980s.
Hey man, you're old, but your burgers are fire though.
So this is Five Guys.
I've been to Five Guys. I never had this much lettuce on the burger though.
Oh, well, that's because you ordered the wrong way.
You order it plain for sure.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Oh,
Hold on.
out of all the decades, we
He said,
start going
oh.
up, boy.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we start going up in flavor.
This is the first one with bacon. Out of the whole video, the first one, I don't even like bacon like that. But on a burger, it's so perfect.
Bacon on a burger is just so damn good.
10 out of
But
10.
now let's jump on to the next one, the 1990s.
Now that's a good era
that gonna
right
be,
there.
Whataburger?
Maybe
What?
me an angel.
In the 1990s, things were not very healthy, and Pizza Hut invented the stuffed crust pizza. That was a hit. There was one
Oh, I
burger
love
that
it.
was also a hit. It was called the Big and Tasty from McDonald's. They made that to fight the Whopper from Burger King, and the Big and Tasty had its own sauce. To make it, it was pretty simple. Into a food processor, I threw in 1 egg yolk, followed by oil, and blend everything on high. Then I added
Tasty.
paprika, followed by salt, sugar, garlic powder, mustard, barbecue sauce, and lime juice. Now blend everything on high, and there
That's a
you
lot of
have it,
stuff
the
for some
Big and
sauce in
Tasty
it.
sauce. Now it's
Sound
called
good,
Big and
though.
Tasty for a good reason. We got a big burger. So it starts off on the grill, and unlike Five Guys, it gets seasoning. A good amount of salt, followed by freshly ground black pepper. Now to assemble, it's pretty simple. We got a good amount of Big and Tasty sauce, followed by Swiss cheese, that monster patty that
Swiss
was just
cheese?
cooked, another slice of
Hey,
cheese,
Swiss cheese
shredded
goes hard
lettuce,
on a
diced
burger, man.
onions, tomatoes, and
I
that
like
big
American
top
and
bun.
Swiss.
Now this is the Big and Tasty. I can't believe McDonald's took this one out of the menu. I
Yeah,
can
but
understand
so
the reason
good, man.
why, and you're about to find out really shortly. Because take a look at this burger. Come on now, I could have that burger any day.
Welcome to the 1990s.
I love how
you
much
see,
he
in
loves
the 90s
food,
they did it
too.
right.
That's a
I
big
could have that
burger.
burger.
There's a
any
reason
day.
it's called Big and Tasty, everybody. So the Big and Tasty is Big and Tasty. Let's try it and let's rate it. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Bro.
Bro, that is so thick.
It's a big patty.
Completely different than anything we've had. And the cheese is different too.
I don't know how I feel about the cheese.
Really?
I think American
Oh, I like
cheese would have been
Swiss.
better.
It's good, but it's so different that I enjoy it. But now let's jump into the 2000s.
Now I'm a teenager.
Now, in the 2000s, Wendy's was having a problem. Since their owner passed away, they created the Baconator so that it will blow up with young men. And that's exactly what happened. It saved the Wendy's
Baconator.
from selling the company. And the burger costed about $4. The
appreciate the follow.
Baconator still exists today. And to make it, it's quite simple. First, we need to cook up 2 square
Wrongers.
patties. And don't forget, fresh, never frozen. Give your buns a nice
Fresh, never
toast, then
frozen.
add in mayo and ketchup. Both of the patties got American cheese, followed by 3 slices of bacon each. Now place one on top of the other and lay it down on that bottom
my
bun.
bacon a
Now
little bit
this
more
is
done.
the
I
Baconator.
like some
And
crispy
even today,
bacon.
it makes a lot of young men really happy. Don't believe me? Well, here we go.
The 2000s, the Baconator.
The year of no vegetables. Let's go.
We just had bacon for the first time on a burger, and now we have too much bacon on a burger.
You ready to give it a try? It is still going on today, so let's see if the Baconator is actually a good nader or a bad one. Wow, that was so cheesy.
That was so cheesy.
The
God
good
damn,
nader
bro.
or the bad nader?
Cheers.
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 Damn.
This
Damn.
is almost identical to the Wendy's.
That
Baconator.
man said,
Yeah, half a pound of
damn.
beef, 6 slices of bacon.
I mean,
It's crazy good, and by far the unhealthiest burger on this list so far.
Yeah, but it's the
Healthiest
tastiest
burger
one,
on
I'll
the
tell you
list.
that.
It is
Hey,
still
I did
good,
try
but
Baconator. Like I
in
was saying a while ago, I tried a
2010,
Baconator
things
for the
started
first time
getting
like a month
real
ago.
weird.
This is
That
when
thing was
social media
smacking.
is at its peak, and everybody wanted to have the next burger. That's when this was invented, the
What
ramen
is
burger.
that?
Now, if you've never tasted this, you should, as this was very popular
Ramen
in the
noodle
2010s.
burger?
But the original version was like this. First thing, the noodles. You want to get 2 containers just like this. Lay down some clinch plastic so things would get out easy. Once you have both of them, go ahead and cook some instant noodles and mix them up with some eggs. You should have a texture like this in the end.
I don't know
Now
about
place them
that
in the
one.
bowl that we just made. Press them down with another container, as now you want to go ahead and cook them until they're fully solid. Because you want to toast those noodles exactly the same way you do with buns. Oh yeah, now you can be as creative
yeah.
as you like going forward. But the original version was like this. You want to go ahead and cook up some quail eggs, get them nice and crispy.
Quail
To assemble,
eggs.
you want to use a little bit of teriyaki
Hey, I
sauce
do
on
like
the
a
bottom noodle bun, followed by that
teriyaki
burger we
sauce.
just cooked, and those fried quail
Do like
eggs.
a fried egg on a
Finish it off
burger,
with more
just like
teriyaki
meat,
sauce,
cheese,
and of
bacon,
course
and
the
a fried
top noodle
egg.
bun.
Oh my
Now get
god!
ready for an Instagram photo.
I tried
and
that a
post
couple
it
years ago
online,
and I
as
love it.
this was very popular in the 2010s. The question is, how did it taste? Well, let's find out.
And here we got 2010s.
Yeah.
Oh man, I
things
think
got
I'd rather
weird.
have a
That is not a
bun.
burger.
Come on, man.
What is that? That's noodles on a patty.
Okay, can we just
Yeah.
try it before it breaks?
All right, enough talking. Welcome to the 2010s. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
It's pretty good though. Pretty good.
Okay, hold on. Nobody told me that the noodles were flavored. Is there like some kind of teriyaki sauce or something on it?
100%.
Damn, I hate to say it, but this is
Teriyaki
actually
sauce.
good.
It is delicious, everybody. I'm telling you.
crazy.
You made it once. I'm glad you made it again. But damn, this is the messiest burger in the world, okay?
This is a really good burger, but not as good
I've
as
never
the
heard of
burgers
that.
we
I didn't
have
know people were
nowadays,
doing
like
that.
the burger that changed my life, Guga's
A
Crazy.
ramen
This
noodle
is a
burger.
smash
They use
burger,
noodles
everybody.
as
I
the
highly recommend. It is
patty,
a delicious
as the-
burger. If you've never had a smash burger done
All
properly,
right, there we go,
I highly
everybody.
recommend. But
That's the
hope
end
you
of that
guys
one.
enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments down below which one.
Yeah,
Did
let me
you
know
enjoy
too.
the
I'm
most?
curious. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what your favorite burger is or where you get your favorite burger. All right. Peace out, everybody. Have a good one. Later.